Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Fox News article just a couple hours ago. Senator Adam Schiff under federal criminal investigation, alleged mortgage fraud violations. Investigation follows criminal referral alleging senator falsified bank documents for favorable loan terms. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is essentially an indictment, arrest and indictment of the senator. President Trump is not playing around. They went after him under absurd leaps of logic. They said that he tried to commit a rebellion, to foment some type of rebellion against the country. They tried to steal 2020, that he engaged in campaign finance violations because Michael Cohen paid Stormy. These are outlandish, absurd leaps of logic. Proving mortgage fraud is not difficult. Okay? Accusing and proving, indicting and arresting, whether it's Adam Schiff or Letitia James for mortgage fraud crimes, is not difficult to prove. There are documents and forms, and it's not like a president can declassify documents, and they try to get Trump on holding on to classified data, but he was the president with the power to declassify. And Clinton had top secret intelligence funneled onto private servers. Okay, they tried to say that Trump fomented a rebellion. He did nothing of the sort. They made absurd leaps of logic to get Trump. And they did not follow protocol. They broke protocol with Trump all the time. Here you have legal precedent. People have gone to jail. People have gone to prison. People have been indicted and arrested for mortgage fraud violations. There's a long precedent. There has not ever been a precedent to imprison a president because of a speech, for example. So they made absurd leaps of logic with Trump, and they're going after Letitia James, Adam Schiff, for potential criminal violations that are easy to prove. Hit subscribe, check this out. Of course, Senator Schiff denies it, but this is the issue here. Check this out.
So the president today is accusing me of fraud, and the basis of his accusation is that I own a home in Maryland and I own a home in California. Big surprise.
This, of course, is not the basis of any allegation. The basis of the allegation is that he allegedly deceived banks into believing that his primary residence would be in Maryland, from what I understand. And of course, he's a senator in California, but that's the basis. The basis is the documentation, the loan documents. Okay, not difficult to prove. It's not like you're accusing Trump of fomenting a rebellion and trying to steal Biden's, victory. And then only less than 4 years later, have George Clooney kick him out of office along with other Democrats because they don't even have functioning primaries. But with Trump, I'm trying to make the point, they made absurd leaps of logic. They did not rest upon legal precedent. This is easy to prove.
Members of Congress, almost all of them own more than one home.
Again, that's not the issue. The issue is deceiving the banks, potentially, which is what he potentially did, that he was living in one place, getting favorable loan rates because he was living outside of California.
Or rent more than one home because we're required to be on both coasts. So he is using my ownership of two homes to make a false claim of mortgage fraud.
Maybe he didn't read the affidavit or the charging form against him. That's not why he's in trouble. He's in trouble for using one residence over the other to get a lower loan rate. Knowing that that was wrong, well, we'll have to find out if that's what he knew or didn't know, but that's what he did. This from a former federal prosecutor.
You can't claim residency in both California and Maryland. So he's got a lot of issues because it seems like however this breaks down, it looks like he's saying one thing here, one thing there. He can't be a resident of both places. So was he lying in California or lying in Maryland to get more favorable loan terms?
And Democrats might say, well, this is, he just didn't know. You can't prove intent. But they didn't give Trump the benefit of the doubt. They didn't give Trump the benefit of the doubt when the FEC literally dropped the hush money case and he still was convicted in New York. A state cannot level a federal conviction without the federal government involved. A state cannot level an FEC fine without the FEC involved with the DOJ. The DOJ and FEC dropped the case. The Federal Election Commission dropped the hush money case against Trump. And they still said that he intentionally tried to violate FEC laws. So you can't say, well, it's not that big of a deal. He's going after his direct political rivals. He didn't know. Schiff didn't really understand what the documents meant. They didn't give Trump that benefit of the doubt. And that Letitia James has the same issue. These are liberal, blue state, New York, California Democrats that want favorable loan terms. And they're using other states to get those, potentially to get those favorable loan terms. Hit subscribe if you're new.
He said it better than I did. In focus, Republican Senator Ron Johnson of the great state of Wisconsin, member of the Senate Homeland Security, Finance, and Budget Committees. Great to see you, Senator Johnson. First of all, what do you say about Adam Schiff now when he says, oh, Trump's just going after him because he owns multiple houses and that most of you own multiple houses? That's not even the crime that he's alleged to have committed, but whatever.
Well, again, he's evading the main point here. Did he or did he not list both residences as primary residences? And what's the result of that? I mean, I would think this ought to be a pretty cut and dry investigation. There's documentation proving that he did it or not. But in his answer to the question, he completely evaded the main point. And again, I don't know the exact benefit to him of claiming them both as primary. Politically, I suppose it looks bad if he's claiming Maryland as his primary residence. Sounds like that's what he is, his primary residence. He's pretty much a swamp creature. And I also know that he was the leading Democrat in Congress that pushed the false narrative of Trump collusion with Russia, lied to the American public, helped put America through 2 years of turmoil because of his lies, because of that false narrative. So I'm not a fan of the guy.
Yeah. All right, we'll move to the Senate Republicans.
So that's the issue. The primary issue is the following. He's being investigated, criminal investigation. Essentially, it's an indictment. President Trump is going to indict Letitia James for mortgage fraud, almost certainly Letitia James, almost certainly Adam Schiff. I think, will indict, I'm pretty sure it will, I have no inside knowledge, but I would imagine he would indict Clinton because of people like Comey and McCabe and Clapper and Brennan. They'll all point the finger towards anyone else but themselves. They're all going to turn on one another. They lied. They made absurd leaps of logic. That's my point. That's what I was trying to tell viewers in the beginning of this segment. When they went after Trump, they did not rest upon legal precedent. There was never a moment in U.S. history where a president was indicted or where one political party tried to imprison a president because of a speech or because of speaking to allies in other states. Okay, even pertaining to, you can look at 2000 with Bush v. Gore. But anyway, let's continue. Or hush money case. They continually ripped up norms and traditions to go after Trump. And then their rebuttal with very clear-cut, simple to prove, easy to understand allegations of criminal conduct is, oh my God, he's going after his direct political rivals. Trump isn't going after Schiff or Clinton or Letitia James or anyone. They possibly committed, almost certainly committed, very easy to prove, simple crimes that have a long litany of people having been sent to jail. The precedent was already set for these crimes.
And tonight, an update on an Ingram Angle exclusive, a Trump administration source telling the Angle that a criminal investigation of Adam Schiff is underway, conducted by U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland for possible charges involving mortgage fraud. Now, this follows the story we broke last month when the Federal Housing Finance Agency sent a criminal referral to the DOJ alleging that Schiff, in multiple instances, falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms. In a 2011 affidavit signed by the then California congressman, he certified that a property in Montgomery County, Maryland, is his primary residence. He also owns a condo in Burbank, California, which he's also claimed is his primary residence.
So the issue is claiming primary residence when it's not your primary residence. That is a crime. And that is a crime. Potentially, he did that, and almost certainly it's going to lead to an indictment. It's a crime because it's very easy. It's very easy to prove. It's pertaining to documents that he allegedly signed, and it's for favorable loan rates. Trump was a billionaire, never needed any favorable rates. Deutsche Bank and others made hundreds of millions from him and would love to do business again with him. Everything they said about Trump was a lie. Now they're going to have to defend the indefensible. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Thank you.